and he blew so hard he eventually blacks out. I watched as he fell backwards off the stairs. He slammed his head against some concrete steps. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Youth Group Chronicles. Joining me again on the show, I have Cole Clark.
What's up?
As my co-host today. To kick it off, we're going to start with some youth ministry fails.
Ooh.
These are 100% the youth pastor or the youth pastor's fault, or like the youth leader.
Right.
Like, this isn't like the kids doing something stupid.
Right.
This is now the adults doing stupid things. Aaron said, we had a Nerf war night at youth group. I was trying to run up a flight of steps and then do like a cool Rambo style dive.
Ooh.
I ended up tripping and smashing into a wall, breaking my wrist. Not one of my proudest moments, but it's a moment that none of my students will ever forget.
Dude, I bet. What the? He thought he was in Call of Duty, dude.
And that's actually probably what he thought it was.
Thought he was in Call of Duty.
Jonathan said, we decided to play hoodie legs, which was a hilarious but also terrible idea.
Yeah.
And one of my guys, the one you would expect, I guess there's no names here, fell off the scooter face first onto the gym floor. I knew it was bad by the way he screamed. I wasn't sure what to expect, but when I went over, he had broken his tooth in half. His front tooth right in half.
Dude.
I felt terrible, but I was also thinking, not verbalizing this, follow the rules, idiot, and this wouldn't happen.
Dude, hoodie legs is like you put your hands in with the legs.
Yeah.
And they're right when
How
I heard
did a
scooter, dude, what?
How did a scooter get into this story?
How do you even make that happen? Like, is he speaking like, do you think he's talking like scooter? Like, there's no way he's talking about a scooter with handlebars.
No. You ever seen those ones that they have like four wheels?
Yeah.
And it's almost like you see them in a warehouse.
Yeah, like classic gym class.
I bet he got onto that with his hands in his hoodie legs and just started scootering around, or someone pushed him. And then he flipped forward and the scooter probably swiped right out underneath him. Dude. Smashed his face. Yeah, now I get the context of, you should have just followed the rules.
Yeah, you should have. Like, that's how he couldn't catch himself, so he's definitely going face first.
Tim said, one of the first trips with my current youth group, which was about 8 years ago, we were heading to a fall retreat. Because of our numbers, we had to take all our vans, even the one that didn't run very well. A little over an hour into the trip, our old blue van caught on fire and the driver was forced to pull over. We were in the middle of nowhere in the Texas Panhandle, and the only place to pull over where the fire began was a XXX Store.
Dude. With the youth group.
There is a ton of teens. They had to take a bunch of vans. So there we were, 5 Baptist church vans with 60 plus students parked at this adult store. One of our leaders had to even go in and try to get water to put out the fire.
No.
And then to top it all off, we had to leave the van in the parking lot, and our pastor got it towed the next morning. I can only imagine what people thought when they drove by on the highway and saw the van parked there overnight.
Dude, did it have like logos on it?
I bet it had the name.
Dude, it had the name. If people
First
are driving
Baptist
by,
Church.
Dude, that is like the worst possible case scenario that could ever happen.
So they actually sent a picture, and it's literally just like the church van with this big like XXX sign in the background of like way out in the middle of Texas somewhere.
Dude, that's terrible.
Of all places, you just come to like a rolling stop. You're like, oh no. Cooper said, my second year as an intern, it was our big summer kickoff event. I invited 2 students to the stage, one who was there for the first time. The game was simple. Both students blow into a pool noodle from either end at the same time, and inside is some milk. This is such a bad idea.
Dude.
The loser... The loser gets milk all over him. It's fun, gross, and silly. Okay, not the words I would use to describe this.
Fun, gross, and silly. Fun, gross, and silly. Okay.
What I didn't prepare for was a stubborn determination of a junior high boy. Now, this kid blows and keeps blowing on this pool noodle, and he blew so hard he eventually blacks out. And in what felt like slow motion from this kid, I watched as he fell backwards off the stairs. This is probably on the stage at this point.
Yeah.
He slammed his head against some concrete steps. So the leaders rush over, and then I break the extremely long dead silence of the room. This is in front of all the kids. All the kids there for this event.
Yeah.
Realizing I had to do something with an, okay, let's go ahead and pray as we transition into worship.
Yeah.
The classic line.
Dude.
Oh my goodness. All the while keeping my eyes open and watching my leaders basically drag this kid to the back of the room. Dude. This new kid, he ended up being all right. We followed up with his mom, made sure he got his head checked out. Unfortunately, he didn't end up coming back. No kidding. And we never play the noodle blow game again.
Shocker.
But we'll never forget what happened when we did play the game.
Dang. He prefaced it with like a criticism sandwich. He was like, it's fun, gross, and silly. Nah, dude. That just turned out terrible.
That turned out, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Blackout.
And then, of course, he fell down the steps too, which made it
right,
even worse.
Yeah, like, again, worst possible case scenario. Just plan for that.
He couldn't have just collapsed on the stage.
Nope. Had to go all the way down.
Oh my goodness. Thomas said, my first lock-in with several churches, I was tasked with running the sumo wrestling game.
Oh shoot.
This is going to be so bad. I was given little instruction other than where to set up and the basic rules. The night just started and a couple, literally a boyfriend and a girlfriend, wanted to try the sumo wrestling suits out. Their first question was, do we have to wear helmets? The other kids had been up there messing around without them either, so I said, no, you don't need helmets, it'll be fine. The boyfriend, probably 160 pounds, decided to run full speed at his girlfriend, who's maybe 100 pounds.
Dude.
She proceeded to fly 15 feet across the room, and when she landed, we heard a huge thud as her head hit the floor. The police come.
Oh no.
To fill out a report.
That's a big jump.
EMTs come.
The police come.
The police come. They had to write up the kid, I guess, or the incident. The parents come and pick up the girl. She was fine. She had just a slight concussion. But 6 years later, I still hear about this at every event I do.
Dude, imagine, just take a second. Forget about the youth leader. Imagine that kid. He's dating this girl.
And he just trucks her.
And there's police, EMT. Imagine the next time he goes to dinner with that girl. Like out of all things that could have happened.
And Nick said, several weeks ago during our recap before small groups, I was talking about 3 points. And I was using my pinky finger, my ring finger, and my middle finger to count.
Oh, no, I can see this coming, dude.
Again, Youth Pastor Fails here. Unfortunately, in the moment, I started counting with my middle finger, and I put down my ring finger and my pinky. Inadvertently, I flipped off all my teens in the small group. Proud moment.
Yep, they're never going to forget.
Jay said, one of my junior high school girls showed up for our summer conference, and she was so excited to show me her new Bible. So, of course, I got excited with her. But when she opened it, I wasn't prepared for how big the font would be. My initial response was, holy smokes, that writing is huge. They must have thought you were going blind. A few minutes later, her uncle pulled me aside and said, I don't think she got what you said, but just so you know, she is actually going blind.
Dude.
I felt awful.
Dude, these are just like dark humor, like low key.
I would feel horrible. Joel said, I allowed my small group to play a game of sardines. Here's sardines again.
Sardines.
We talked about this last time.
I don't know if I ever want to play sardines after this.
It's actually really fun. I allowed my small youth group to play sardines in the church. They decided to hide inside the pipe organ in the sanctuary.
Oh, shoot.
And managed to get about 12 youth inside. Unfortunately, we caused $6,000 in damage to the organ, and I learned a very important lesson.
No way.
$6,000?
Dude, you've seen one of those things, obviously.
I don't know how you get inside
Me
one. Me
neither. That's what I'm saying.
All I'm just picturing like the pipe.
Dude, like, how'd they not get stuck?
I don't know.
12 kids?
12 kids. I don't understand how they caused $6,000 worth of damage.
Clearly, they were in the largest part. So whatever they broke was going to be the most expensive. And then clearly, they must have like, what do you do? Dent it? Bend it?
I don't know. I guess it didn't work.
I don't know. I don't know the inner workings, but I believe that it was $6,000.
I believe it too. Tyler said, I have a friend who is taking 275 high school students to...
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids.
Wow.
To a week of beach camp in Florida from Indiana. There was a super tight travel schedule because of the number of people traveling and the logistics / timing.
Yeah, I know why. There's 275. Yeah. They're going to a beach.
The first restroom stop was scheduled for 2.5 hours into the trip. A junior guy asked me to stop the 6 charter buses 30 minutes into the trip so he could take a number 2 in the building and not on the bus. He was told he'd have to wait 2 hours because we couldn't afford to get off schedule that early. He agreed and tried to return to his seat.
Oh, no.
15 minutes passed, the same kid, same request, except more panic. Same instructions, wait a little bit, we can't afford to get off schedule. Same response, okay, I'll try to hold it. 15 more minutes passed, so now they're about an hour into their trip. Same kid, not the same request, a new demand. The bus has to stop now. My friend reluctantly agreed to stop based on the panic in the kid's eyes. The buses pull into a large Cracker Barrel parking lot, and the junior high kid runs into the restaurant. My friend is running close behind him as a chaperone, and the student ran into the restroom, took hold of the bathroom stall door, gave it a furious tug, really hard tug, and to his great disappointment, the stall was occupied and the door was locked. Unfortunately for the student, the quote wheels had already begun turning.
Dude.
My friend entered the restroom to see the student's expression of sheer panic and mourning, and to hear him say, "Oh no, oh no, oh no." Just then it fell out of his shorts on the floor. Another patron of Cracker Barrel walked in just at this moment and said, "Oh snap, that dude just bleeped his pants."
Dude.
My friend went to the bus, retrieved a pair of shorts from a volunteer, watched the student silently return to his bus seat in a different pair of shorts than he had ran into the restaurant in, and not a word was said. I think that student, now a grown man, probably still carries the weight, metaphorically of course, of that event to this day.
And you know what that feels like too. You know when your body, like you could have held a poop for like at least 2 hours, right? And you know your body is sensing that it's close to a toilet. Like you feel freedom coming.
And he was also sensing that an hour before.
Right. So he's like, he feels freedom coming, and it came.
He knew the freedom was coming, and then the door was locked, but it was too late. The kid honestly is a trooper, though. He went, 15 minutes, or he was 30 minutes, and then 15 minutes, and then ran in there only to have his
dude, it fell on the
heart
floor.
Shattered. Oh my gosh.
Was he not wearing underwear, dude?
Dude, I have so many questions. I don't know.
It fell on the floor.
All right. Closing this out with a few more crazy stories here. Not in the van I was driving, but in another 15-passenger van on the way back from winter camp in the mountains, one of the 6th grade boys peed into a bottle because he literally thought we weren't stopping. Wow, these stories go along nicely. To clarify, we asked the kids to use the bathroom before we left because we weren't stopping. It was implied that if it was an emergency, we would stop. But I guess this kid just got way ahead of himself, pulled it out, and peed into a bottle while in the church van.
Nah, he was like, we're going all the way. I'm not going to be the one. I'm not going to be the one that stops this.
All right, man. That will conclude another episode of Youth Group Chronicles. Thanks for watching this episode of Youth Group Chronicles. If you have a story that you want to send into the show, you can email us at ygchronicles@gmail.com. You might just make it on an episode. Please like, subscribe, and then turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified when we drop a new episode. Next thing, this is a YouTube video that YouTube thinks you're going to like, so check it out. Thanks for watching the show.